This is Brave Rifles Week, a week that celebrates tradition, teamwork, and the sacrifice of the 3rd Cavalry Regiment at Fort Hood. For 3 days, we got unrestricted access inside the massive U.S. Army post, immersing ourselves with the men and women who currently call it home. It's proudly known as the Great Place for the quality of life and long reputation of deploying troops to wars in Afghanistan and Iraq. But this last year exposed a hidden reputation, one of misconduct, violence, and a young soldier's injustice.
Truly is that every time I wake up, I think of her. Every time I go to sleep, I think of her.
You know, my little sister, I'm the oldest out of all of them, and it's hard to cope with everything and trying to sit still.
Army Specialist Vanessa Guillen was born in Houston to a hard-working immigrant family from Mexico. Her parents raised her to be smart, strong, and to dream of a better life.
She wanted family. She wanted to have children.
She will be forever 20 years old, engaged but never married. Juan Cruz was her fiancé.
I met her when she was 16 and I was 17. And we just grew up together.
In June 2018, Vanessa joined the Army. She was so close to her family, she would drive 3 hours to Houston every weekend to spend time with them.
She used to arrive around 6, 7 in her car, in her uniform.
But then one day, those drives back home stopped. On April 22nd, 2020, Vanessa vanished.
Every time we wanted to go inside the base, we didn't even receive an answer back.
Her family felt something was wrong. Before she disappeared, Vanessa told her family she was being sexually harassed by a superior at Fort Hood, but was afraid to report it.
My mom knew because she confided to my mom that was happening.
Vanessa's family did everything in their power to find her.
Justice for Vanessa!
From protesting to search parties.
How can this happen on military base? How can this happen while she was on duty?
On June 30th, Vanessa's remains were found along a river 25 miles away from Fort Hood. Investigators say she was beaten to death on post by a fellow soldier.
A lot of people say it's not Robinson allegedly was the only one that murdered Vanessa, but the U.S. Army overall hurt my sister.
The prime suspect, Army Specialist Aaron Robinson, died by suicide after escaping the base during the investigation. Months later, an investigation into the handling of Guillen's case resulted in the suspension or firing of 21 soldiers. The investigation found Vanessa was sexually harassed by a supervisor, but that leadership in her unit failed to take action or investigate the allegations.
I've determined the issues at Fort Hood are directly related to leadership failures. Leaders drive culture and are responsible for everything the unit does.
I asked her fiancé if Vanessa ever mentioned anything about sexual harassment.
If she would have told me something, things would have been different.
For some reason or the other, she did not open up to me.
The Army never found any connection between the harassment and her murder. Back at Fort Hood, there are signs of change.
Order! Arms!
But what's being done to keep these soldiers safe? And who will be held accountable if something happens? In part 2 of our series, you'll see those changes firsthand, because no soldier, no person deserves what happened to Vanessa Guillen.
Nothing's gonna bring her back, but just knowing that she's looking down and she's probably proud of everything that we've been able to achieve, you know, it completes me in a way.
In Fort Hood, I'm Molly Basu.